All right, Cleveland Brown faithful, welcome back to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. This was something that happened yesterday, but I just wanted to bring a video out to you right now. Dustin Hopkins and the Browns reach a 3-year, $15.9 million contract extension. So, interesting little tidbit of news here. Very confusing as to why this comes before the Amari Cooper news. We will talk about that, but the Browns lock up their kicker of the future for the next 4 years. I will be throwing these graphics up on the screen as I talk about them. But Hopkins was under contract for this 2024 upcoming season with a base salary of $2.875 million. We know how much a difference a kicker makes, especially in the AFC, specifically in the AFC North, getting a guy who could kick in bad conditions year round. So I feel like there's a lot of controversy. There's been a lot of talk in recent years. Oh, should you pay a kicker? Should you use a high draft pick on a kicker? Something that the Browns did do when it came to drafting a player like Cade York. Didn't work out. Got rid of him, moved on. I actually think he's back with the Browns. I think he's somehow affiliated with he's at training camp, I think. Maybe. Could be wrong. Somebody fact check me on that. Swear I saw that somewhere, which is weird. But nevertheless, 3 more years for Dustin Hopkins. He won us some games last year, some last-second field goals. It felt nice to have kind of the second coming of Phil Dawson in a Browns uniform, someone who's reliable. We had a long stretch in between Phil Dawson and Dustin Hopkins last year where it kind of seemed like nothing could go right from the kicking position. It was only 1 year, but we're paying him on that 1 year moving forward. So the annual pay on this contract for the 3 seasons following the 2024 season is $5.3 million, which is expensive in the National Football League for kickers. Actually makes Dustin Hopkins the 5th highest paid kicker in the NFL. Justin Tucker, number 1 at $6 million. Jake Elliott tied at $6 million as well. Matt Gay comes in at number 3 at $5.62 million annual. Graham Gano for the Giants, $5.5 million annually. And then your Cleveland Brown, Dustin Hopkins, at $5.3 million, tied with Kaimi Fairbairn of the Texans, also making $5.3 million. So you see some other teams, specifically, some other teams in the AFC, the Ravens, the Colts, in that top 5 discussion for highest paid kicker. The Ravens have always understood how important this was. Obviously, they've had a generational Hall of Fame talent with Justin Tucker. Dustin Hopkins' career has been a little bit more up and down. He's made a couple of different stops. It looks like he's been cemented here in Cleveland, specifically with his most recent season performance, which kind of brings me to the next topic here. There's going to be some more interesting offseason happenings here still for the Cleveland Browns. And, the season's right around the corner. 8 or 9 Sundays left until the NFL kicks off. It's going to be here very quickly. Can't wait. Super excited. But I'm sitting here thinking, how do they get a Dustin Hopkins extension done when for weeks, maybe even a month now, Amari Cooper said that he wants a new contract, but I think some breaking news today is kind of giving me that answer. And this tweet is from @Mike Garfolo. Sources: 49ers All-Pro wide receiver Brandon Ayuk has officially requested a trade after an offseason of unsuccessful attempts to reach an extension. So that wide receiver market for, off of the top tier isn't really been set yet. There's still some discussions to be had. I know that the Browns in the past, specifically this year, have been linked to Ayuk and the 49ers in an Amari Cooper swap for Brandon Ayuk. I don't know how much traction those rumors actually have, but it is something that has kind of been floated out there. You get a little bit younger with Ayuk. You get somebody who's still a productive wide receiver. It sounds like right now, initial reporting, today on July 16th, that the 49ers are not going to trade Ayuk. They've had people request trades in the past that they have not honored. It looks like they're going to go down that route. They feel like their Super Bowl window is still open and intact. And while you have the rookie contract of a quarterback, you have to try to keep all the assets that you can, regardless of, maybe you're pissing somebody off because they want a new contract, whatever it may be. So will the Browns be on the table for a Cooper swap with Ayuk if the 49ers do double back and try to trade him? I'm not certain. It could be a possibility. It sounds like there's another AFC North team in the mix, maybe the Steelers, maybe even the Ravens, to go out and look for a weapon like Brandon Ayuk. But this just shows you how the NFL works and how you have to operate as a general manager. Do we have an opportunity to waste here that, oh, let's pay Hopkins for one more season and then walk, and then we're back to square one? We have no idea who our kicker is. When you're in this window like this, when you've been in the playoffs for, in the recent history multiple times, when you have the coach of the year, when you have a quarterback making a boatload of money, when you made a move for Jerry Jeudy, when you've given David Njoku a bunch of money, when you're hoping that Nick Chubb makes a return and can be, what he was in the past, you can't sit around on these marginal pieces that could lose you games and just hope that, hey, Hopkins leaves and somebody comes in next year while we're still presumably in a NFL Super Bowl window, and just hope that everything goes right. The 49ers are taking that same approach. They like Ayuk. They think that he's a good weapon, specifically next to Debo, specifically next to George Kittle. That's a nice setup over there. They're not going to let guys walk, or they're not going to trade guys, if they think that they help Brock Purdy be the best quarterback that he can be for what they're paying him. That's the name of the game in the NFL. You have to retain pieces that are cornerstones of your roster. And I think that Dustin Hopkins showed that a kicker last season can be a cornerstone of your roster. I get it. It's a lot of money. It seems weird that this extension came first before Amari Cooper, which I still think is something they need to get done. Barry needs to do that immediately. Next, get Cooper in the building, make sure that has as much offseason as he can, working with the quarterbacks, working with Deshaun Watson, and then go from there. But that's just my 2 cents. Hopkins extension, Cooper needs to be next. And then if the 49ers want to double back and trade Ayuk, maybe look out for Andrew Berry to make a move. But if you've made it this long, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe down below. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.